Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Rolling Stone 56. Thanks for the suggestion, Stone. You asked, why was the wheel invented? Like, who looked at a rock and thought, you know what would make this better? Spinning. Honestly, a fair question. Wheels seem so obvious now, but back then, absolute galaxy brain moment. So today, we're going back, way back, to find out how the simple wheel spun humanity straight into the future. Buckle up or don't. Seatbelts weren't a thing yet, because we're rolling into history right here on Explaining Everything. Picture this. It's 3,500 BCE. You're a prehistoric human. You've just hunted a mammoth, and now you have to drag 500 pounds of meat back to your cave. No cart, no wagon, just you, your sad little arms, and a growing sense of regret. Life before wheels was CrossFit in nightmare mode. People had to drag things across dirt, rocks, and whatever sharp plants decided to ruin their day. Transportation was less about convenience and more about, will I throw out my back before lunchtime? The idea of moving heavy things easier was a big problem. People were smart. They already had sleds. But sleds could only go so far before the friction turned them into, congratulations, you're not moving anymore, devices. Humanity needed an upgrade. And let's be honest, somewhere out there was probably a caveman named Greg inventing excuses instead of solutions. No, I can't move the mammoth today. My foot, has a spirit curse. Meanwhile, smarter humans were busy inventing the groundwork for the wheel because nobody had time for Greg's ancient drama. So, here's the plot twist. The earliest wheels weren't even for transportation. Archaeologists found that the first wheels were part of pottery making. That's right. Before we used wheels to move ourselves, we used them to make bowls. Priorities, right? Got to have something nice to cry into after dragging your mammoth steak home. The first potter's wheel appeared around 3,500 BCE in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq. Someone realized, hey, if I spin this slab of clay around, I can make a way better vase for my weird flowers. And boom, spinning technology was born. Transportation wheels took a little longer to roll into existence. It's kind of poetic, honestly. Humanity didn't invent the wheel to escape danger or conquer lands. We invented it because someone desperately wanted a symmetrical snack bowl. Art before speed. It's the ancient way. Eventually, someone, whose name history cruelly forgot, had another genius idea. What if we put a wheel on a thing and ride it? Game changer. The earliest transportation wheels, also from Mesopotamia, were solid wooden discs made by clamping planks together. Heavy, clunky, and about as graceful as a drunk elephant, but effective. Next came the axle, the stick connecting two wheels. The key was figuring out that the wheel had to spin around the axle, not just be stuck to it. If you don't think that's revolutionary, please try pushing a wagon with fixed wheels and get back to me after your therapy appointment. This combo, wheel plus axle, was the beginning of carts, wagons, and eventually every form of transport that didn't involve you physically falling over. Once people figured out the magic of wheels, they went bananas with it. carts moved goods. Chariots changed warfare because nothing says intimidation like rolling up at 40 miles per hour with a spear. Farmers hauled crops without breaking their backs. Merchants traveled farther. Entire civilizations expanded their influence, all thanks to circles of wood. Fast forward a bit, and the wheels got fancier. Spoked wheels made vehicles lighter and faster. Romans built actual highways so their carts wouldn't be rattled into oblivion. Wheels were the medieval equivalent of high-speed internet. If you didn't have them, you were living in the Dark Ages. Oh, wait. Fun fact, in the Americas, indigenous cultures had the concept of wheels. Toys with wheels have been found, but didn't use them for transportation much, probably because there were no big draft animals like horses or oxen before Europeans arrived. Shows you, invention alone isn't enough. Sometimes you also need a giant, slightly dumb animal to pull stuff. Today, wheels are everywhere. Cars, bikes, airplanes, office chairs that spin you around during Zoom calls. We even put tiny wheels on suitcases because dragging luggage through an airport is humanity's version of the Odyssey. And wheels evolved, too. Rubber tires, inflatable tubes, rollerblades, monster trucks, all thanks to that one ancient "what if it rolled" idea. Of course, wheels also brought new problems, like traffic jams and popped tires. And that time, you tried to skateboard and discovered that asphalt is less forgiving than it looks. Still, without wheels, no road trips, no food delivery, no theme parks, no roller coasters. Or worse, roller coasters made entirely out of sleds. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. So, why was the wheel invented? Because ancient humans got sick of dragging stuff around like exhausted pack mules and decided to innovate. First for pottery, then for transportation, and eventually for every aspect of life that needed a little more we. The wheel didn't just change transportation, it revolutionized civilization itself. Without it, we'd probably still be grunting in caves, crying over mammoth steaks. The next time you zip across town, roll your chair across the kitchen, or zoom past your problems on rollerblades, just remember, it all started with one brilliant human who looked at a circle and said, this changes everything. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.